We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states where just some of the governors here are so happy about this.
So President Trump now signing that executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. He says he's entrusting states to do it themselves. Virginia Governor, Republican Glenn Youngkin's here. And Governor, thank you for your time. Education is part of the reason why you won 4 years ago. Thanks for coming on today. First, from Special Report, here's Linda McMahon answering a question from Brett. Let's start here. Watch.
Why not send the money to the states as a pass-through, and then they must give the money to parents and let them pick the schools and the instruction of their choice?
Well, that's one opportunity. I think we should explore that. How can we help you? What kind of tools can we provide you? What kind of plans for best practices can we make available to you so that you can see what other states have done and done successfully? And that's going to be the goal.
So here's what we found. Federal funding, it's a lot of money now, but federal funding accounts for about 14% of the total funding for public K through 12 education. It's got a price tag of about $900 billion. What can you say today that would allay the fears of those who are wondering what happens to them in their classroom?
Well, good morning, and I think it's another day to say promises made and promises kept. The president yesterday signed this executive order doing exactly what I think he should do, which is send the money to the states. We're ready. And what this does is allow states to run education, which Virginia has been doing in an incredibly aggressive and effective way since our administration came in. We have restored excellence in the classroom. We've provided transparency and accountability to the performance of schools. We have worked hard to reestablish a system that allows students to not just soar, but to raise the ceiling and the floor. And we went to work to tackle learning loss, of course, because schools were closed for far too long during the pandemic. Virginia had been 44th in the nation in getting our schools back open. And so intensive tutoring and making sure we tackle chronic absenteeism. All of this is done at the state level. And that's why this is so important. I do believe that at the heart of the president's executive order is cutting out the bureaucracy. Listen, almost half of our education team's efforts are spent in dealing with federal government bureaucracy that has money that should go to the classroom that instead is just eaten up filling out forms, paperwork, and reports. And at the end of the day, the states are ready. Virginia is ready to make sure that Virginia's children are well educated, and we don't need the federal government telling us what to do all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, you tapped into this quite a while ago, Governor, and these are the report cards that parents are outraged over. And as we've been discussing, sadly, they're just passing these kids on through. They're graduating them, and they can't even read and write. You look at these report cards state to state, and you wonder how they could let this go on for so long. And Randi Weingarten, when she looks back at COVID now and she hears Republicans saying how she wanted the school shut, she says that's just a Republican talking point. Listen to this.
COVID was a terrible time for us. And as you know, because I was on your show a lot and other shows, I wanted schools to be reopened as early as April of 2020. But this has been a Republican talking point for a long time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so roll the tape. July, August, and November 2020. Listen.
If people are in high risk, they shouldn't be in school.
Remote and hybrid are really the only two ways you can reopen schools safely.
They're closing now because what the city said, and frankly, what lots of other places are also seeing, is a huge skyrocketing increase in the virus
you're not
surge.
Listening. And we know that children are still paying the price for those shutdowns today, Governor.
Yeah, Randi Weingarten's comments are preposterous. I mean, she had a really bad day yesterday. President Trump is dismantling the bureaucracy that she has leaned on in order to drive a progressive left agenda. And now it's moving to states that are working to educate children and get results. And to say that she was for opening schools, even in 2020, is preposterous. I mean, she was working all the way through 2021 with the CDC and the Biden Department of Education to keep the schools remote. I mean, Virginia, which was led by a Democrat governor, was 44th in the nation in getting our schools back open, and we had the largest learning loss in the country. And this learning loss is deep and persistent, and that's what we're battling against today. Listen, a third grader today is behind in reading and in math because they were told that a 12-inch screen was a quality education. Listen, it's not the teacher's fault. I thank the teachers for their heroic efforts. But to say that Randi Weingarten was up to anything else other than keeping the schools shut for an extended period of time, an unnecessary extended period of time, is anything but preposterous.
One more question here. I was watching a union leader in Arizona yesterday, a big progressive rally out there, AOC, Bernie Sanders. This union leader said, we've taken $1 billion from Washington every year, and it's critical for us to run our schools effectively. You said repeatedly here, we are ready in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Can you give me one example of how you think you could better spend that money for the students in Virginia?
Well, the first thing that we would do is cut out the immense layer of bureaucracy and get the funding in the classroom to support students as opposed to just wasting it. And that's what the bureaucracy does. On top of that, we understand how to drive excellence in education. We understand how intensive tutoring that has been funded through Virginia resources has helped lift back up students and bring an end to the huge learning loss from the pandemic. These are state programs, not federal programs. Send us the money. And then finally, the Biden administration spent all of its time actually driving this left-wing agenda by trying to use Title IX to force their progressive ideas. Let the money flow directly to the states and let us go to work making sure that children are educated and the results can show it. They have not been focused on results. They've been focused on left-wing policies. And this is where the states can go to work to bring back excellence in education in Virginia and across the country.
Got to do better for these children. Governor, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Governor. Could be a sea change. We'll see. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.